End of chapter 2. We are actually finishing linear equations in two variables and functions. This is the last week. On Friday we're going to have a test. We will review the questions of the test on Thursday. And right now I will review a little bit about yesterday, what we have seen yesterday. And this for sure is going to be one of the questions of the tests. Okay, because you have to identify here, we talked yesterday about quadratic functions, and you have to identify if a function is going to be a constant, linear, quadratic, or any other kind of function, And check the examples that we have here. Let's see. We have number 3, m of x equals negative 2x squared minus 3x plus 7, and you will to solve this kind of question, you just look at the variable, forget about the numbers, look at the variable, and the variable here is x squared, right? On this number 3, the variable that have the greatest exponent is x squared. If you have an x squared, it's going to be a quadratic. If you can find an x squared, it's going to be quadratic. Next, we have n of x equals negative 6. Again, forget about the numbers, find the variable. And actually, you cannot find variables here. There are no variables. If you cannot find any variables, that means this is a constant function. Constant function doesn't have any variables, only have numbers. Number 5. W of x equals 4 over 3x minus 1 over 2. Again, forget about the numbers, check only the variable. And the variable here is a variable that have no exponents, and it's not on the denominator. That means this is going to be linear function. And number 6, we have r of x equals 4 over 3x minus 1 over 2. Here the x is in the denominator. If the x is on the denominator, this is actually a reciprocal function, if you remember, the reciprocal function. But it's not going to be constant, not going to be linear, not going to be quadratic, so it's other kind of function. Okay? This is how you solve this kind of question. We will have a question like this on the test. We also have a review today on the quiz. So this is pretty straightforward. Just look at the variable. Okay, this is a review. This is how we work these kind of questions to identify function if it's constant, linear, quadratic, or other function. Let's move to the topic of today's class. And we are ending chapter 2. This is probably one of the last topics that we're going to see, is how to find x and y-intercept. How to find the x and the y-intercept of a graph defined by y equals f of x. And we have seen this before, applied to equations. If you have an equation, you can find the y-intercept and the x-intercept, because this is x, this is y. And if you have a graph, remember that, let's say this line here is a linear equation, and you're going to have this is the y-intercept, where the graph intercepts on the y-axis, and that is going to be the x-intercept, is where the graph intercepts on the x-axis. This is how it works for equations, but it's going to be kind of similar for functions. For functions, you will have the x-intercept is going to be the real solutions to the equation f of x equals 0. That means instead of y, now we're going to call this also f of x. F of x equals y. And here the y-intercept is given by f of 0. That means when x equals 0. So here make y equals 0 and to find the x-intercept, and to find the y-intercept, you make x equals 0. Okay. Sometimes you have different names. Let's say, give here an example. You have a different function. Let's say h of t equals y. Never mind, this is still the y-axis, and here instead of x you're going to have t, but this is still the x-axis. X always going to be the horizontal axis, y always going to be the vertical axis. Okay, moving, and maybe you understand a little bit this explanation, this procedure, all this texts that we have here. Maybe you understand a little bit, but I think you're going to understand much better when we use to calculate this example here. Check it out. Given the function, and the function that we're going to work on the example is this: f of x equals 2x minus 4. This is the function that we're going to work, 2x minus 4. Okay? And we need to find first the x-intercept. To find the x-intercept, we're going to make x equals 0. To find x-intercept, you're going to make f of x equals 0, and you're going to find x. Right? So let's make here f of x equals 0 equals 2x minus 4. And we can calculate here. We can apply addition property, multiplication property, try to find out the right answer. But look at the equation that you have here. 2x minus 4. 2 times x minus 4. What's the number that we can plug in here? We can substitute x and make 2 times x minus 4 equals 0. What's going to be the number? Sometimes the answer is very easy. You don't need to waste time calculating. You can just look at it, just look at the equation, and you're going to figure it out. Because if you make x equals to 2 times 2, 4, 4 minus 4, 0, right? So the x-intercept is going to be 2. Go to the graph, check the x-axis, and find number 2. This is going to be x-intercept. Now y-intercept. For y-intercept, instead of making fx equals 0, we're going to make x equals 0. And you're going to find y, because y equals fx. So y equals, this is for y-intercept, right? Y-intercept. Y equals 2 times 0 minus 4. 2 times 0, 0 minus 4, negative 4. Y equals negative 4. Go to the y-axis, check negative 4. Negative 4 is going to be the y-intercept that we're looking for. Now, last step, graph the function. To graph the function, let's get a different color. You draw a line connecting the points, and this is going to be the graph of the function, the line. Since this one is a linear function, right, you can represent by a line connecting the both points that we just found, the x-intercept and the y-intercept. Any questions? Let me know if you have any questions at all, and if not, we're going to move to the quiz. Any questions? Do you think this is okay? This is something that you can understand? You can actually figure it out. If it's not clear, you can always, seems easy. Thank you, clear. Thank you for the feedback. If it doesn't look clear, you can always check the solution. This is the solution that I copied from the book. Okay, this is the solution that you're gonna find in the textbook. But it's pretty much the same thing I've calculated, maybe with more step by step. Thank you, Will. Thank you. Thank you for the feedback. And if you're good, if you feel confident, let's go to work. Let's move and work on the quiz. But first, try to answer this one. Try to answer this bell work. And the bell work here is a classic brain teaser, a classic puzzle. And we have the scale. First, we're gonna have the weight of the bunny and the cat. And then the weight of the bunny and the dog, and then the weight of the cat and the dog. How can you figure out, how can you calculate the weight of the dog, cat and bunny all together? Let me know your answers. So the right answer, you're going to divide 10 plus 20 plus 24. You add all, divided by 2. 54 divided by 2, 27 kilograms. 27 kilograms is going to be the right answer for our puzzle. On the quiz, today's quiz, I try to do this every day. I try to have a review and then the new topic. Okay, this is the review and this is the new topic. On the review, you have to determine which function is going to be constant, linear, quadratic or other kinds. The same thing that we've done yesterday. And we will have something like that on the test because it's kind of easy, right? Check the variable, only the variable. And you don't have any variables here, right? If the variable is squared, it's going to be quadratic. So this one is quadratic. If the variable is doesn't have exponent, is linear. If you don't find any variables at all, it's going to be constant. And if the variable is on the denominator, or is inside the square root, or is inside absolute value function, then it's going to be other kind of functions. Okay? Pretty simple. Next one, find the x-intercept. So find the x-intercept. Let's check this first example here. Find the x-intercept of k of x equals x minus 3. You're going to make the function equals to 0, 0 equals to x minus 3. What makes x minus 3 equals to 0? What makes x minus 3 equals to 0? If you make x equals 3, 3 minus 3, 0, right? So this is going to be the answer. Yes, Jacob! Wow! Very fast. Let me just ask you something. There's a trick. There's a quick trick here, and maybe you got you were on the tiger time, right? You were on the tiger time, and we have a trick for S, T, U, and V. I'm pretty sure you remember for tiger time. Now you're gonna have two different answers, and I show it later. When you reach this, but just making sure that you remember and you got these answers right. But you may leave. Yes, if you finish, you may leave. Thank you, Jacob. Kalia is stuck on Q. Let me check here, Q.